All right. Hey, man. How are you?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you. Hey, everybody. Here we are. We're doing D&D with DnG. I'm David. This is Gunner. You know
What's
us.
up?
We stream, sometimes together, sometimes
Yeah,
separate. It's great.
there's a lot of good energy in this house for streaming.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No, I mean, especially out here in the living room, as you've told me before, it reverberates
Yes,
off the uh, off the old walls.
but it looks good. I like how you can see your crit roll cartography collection
Yes,
there.
yes, that's
Looks
the
good.
main thing. I would love to kind of show off our like little nerddom area a little bit more, but we work with what we got, my
We do what we
man.
can.
Yeah, we do what we can. Um, well, for those of you that don't know, Gunnar and I, man, we just God, we love D&D. We just do. We play any chance we get. Um, we have the best group in the world to play with, and that's a scientific fact.
Yeah, yeah. You have a homebrew game. I have a homebrew game.
Yeah.
Niles, our other buddy, has his own second now long-running campaign for us. It's a lot of D&D and a lot of
Yes.
hours
Yes.
put
So
put into a hobby that just brings me so much joy.
yeah,
There's nothing quite like it.
absolutely. I feel the exact same way, especially with um, because we typically will do 2 nights a week. And when I took a break from running my campaign, we picked up. Uh, Actually, no, we were doing yours beforehand, right?
Um, so Niles finished his, and then we got to jumpstart Romance Dawn again, which is a,
Yes.
a campaign that I've run several years ago
Mhm.
for him and for Mickey. So I was very excited that the idea started coming back to me, and I found my old notes and getting you guys, well, now about 15, probably 15 or 16 sessions now,
Yeah.
I would say, since we started.
We have a mantra for Romance Dawn, actually.
Yes, we do.
Go a quick 6 sessions. That's all it's gonna take. A
The
quick
world's longest one shot.
5 or 6 sessions.
Ideally, we would play the game for like a cumulative total of like 36 hours, and
Mhm.
that would be the one shot. But
Yeah,
limitations on
yeah.
that.
Limitations in the body alone.
Yeah, but it's been good. I'm excited because we're close to the end now, and
Yeah.
it's all, oh yeah, it's all coming together. It's
Oh,
coming
and
together.
like I didn't get a chance to tell you, but that was like last night's encounter was the coolest encounter that I've ever been a part of.
Thank
And
you.
I mean, I don't mean that to knock anything that we've done previous, but I feel like every time we have the coolest encounter, one of us just kind of ups it.
The other ones ascend, and then the other two are like, "Well, I got to step my game up because
Oh,
this is awesome."
so for those of you that aren't in that wonderful campaign called Romance Dawn 2, um, so we as a party get to this area and out pops this worm, but it's like this giant undead like centipede looking worm, and he literally has it where it's 5 different tokens that move independently from one another, and we have to kill. And it was, you know, like the old like Zelda games with the worm that would run over and you had to like chop at it when it got in range. That's what it felt like, and it was the
Yeah,
coolest thing.
that sincerely appreciate it. There was so much of it that I wanted to do. Uh, I wanted to try different ideas out that I think would work, and it
Hmm.
sounds like it overall it did. It translated really well,
Yeah.
and that's just something you learn to work and that muscle you kind of train of like, okay, how can I explain this quickly and like get people immersed as quickly as possible without losing too much information. And I'm glad that it sounds like it worked out pretty well.
Oh, it was wonderful.
It
Now,
was weird. It was different. I wanted to try something else and
no,
see.
it was so cool. Now, in the fight, he did have this like floating enemy that would be able to raise up 20 feet and down 20 feet and move independently from itself. Was there a point in time where you decided that like, or when you had the thought process of like, okay, our melee only party members, what are they gonna do? Or was that just kind of like a, oh, they'll figure it out?
Um, every time, and this is something to learn about the people that we play with. Every time I even get close to like underestimating what you guys can do, all of you independently and together as a group have come at me with just some of the most unique solutions to what I thought were incredibly different or difficult encounters. Um, I felt that this was me turning up the gas, and
Hmm.
that I could definitely put like a heavier enemy with crazy abilities and other ads kind of coming in, and you guys would be fine. This is all just me experimenting to get to the last fight where I again want to just turn up the gas and try
Yeah.
a lot of different things that I've been kind of playtesting on my own, but
Hmm.
also just like what makes D&D interesting to me is that you can do it a million different ways.
Yeah.
There's the core rules, and what I learned from watching you both run a game. Um, the rules are there to help sort of guide a lot of the like combat and interacting in the world, but
Hmm.
it's the story that you want to tell, and
Yeah.
all of that again was based on one of our other players backstories, who he just like Cam has just such a sensational way of surprising you and creating something that I wasn't expecting. So I wanted to do the same thing. I wanted to throw something at him that was wildly probably different than what he was expecting for his resolution, like his character arc. And I also have tried to do that for everybody else as well. At least give you each a unique part of the story, because it's the world of pirates, it's the world of legends. Like
Well,
it's everybody's. Yeah.
he did that with me in my campaign where he surprised me because he brought like not only a very clear vision of like kind of what he would like to do. Like it did take a little time. Like he didn't know what race to play.
Yeah.
He knew what class he wanted to play, a barbarian. Um, and then we weirdly settled on Furbolg, which is like so atypical of a
Yeah.
barbarian, right? You want to go like, something big and aggro, but like, and a Furbolg is big, but you don't really see them as like aggro. They're typically like druidic, peaceful cow people, right?
Like
Um,
farmers or shopkeepers, like the more
yeah,
mundane part of the fantasy world.
but it was interesting because he brought me this story that was almost druidic in nature. So it worked out perfectly. I'm like, okay, yeah, and well, we can weave that in, and you guys obviously you got to go visit his hometown, and that was really it was really fun.
And just going back to where you were saying, like, what was I expecting uh, us to have any difficulty? Because you guys are so creative, and
Mm.
all of us, I think we all operate on the same level where we're willing to approach new ideas. We're, sometimes woefully optimistic, sometimes dangerously skeptic for no reason. It's a really fun dynamic of friends to play, and I think that each of us, you, me, and Niles, as DMs, as
Mm.
dungeon masters, you know, um, we understand what our players are looking for in a game, and we all enjoy the same qualities of a story being told. And fighting the monsters and getting the loot is all fun and good, and it's
Hmm.
needed. But I wanted to use that as a segue. Ooh, watch out, coming in.
Here he comes.
Skirt. About what you wanted to talk about, which was romance in D&D.
Yes. Um,
And where, well, just I'm curious what your thoughts are, because it definitely, I was surprised that you brought that up as a topic, and I've been thinking a lot about it since you brought it up.
yeah. Well, I was thinking about it myself in that like, we're a group of five guys and a girl, right? So typically we have four male characters and one female. And no, and especially being is the DM is in a relationship with the girl, typically. Um, we didn't really, and especially for Miko, like it just didn't. I don't think anybody would have fit well with Miko anyway.
Yeah.
The character that she played, it was kind of this. runaway princess, but she was kind of very independent, right? Um, I
Bigger
just
purpose than dating or settling down. It was like
absolutely,
she had an immense responsibility to like her people, and was a princess. Like it
yeah,
was
yeah,
amazing.
and it was great. And Miko and Marxus, our characters, were able to settle into a best friends kind of scenario, which was really great. Um, I was curious because you didn't really get to do it with Emerald, the character that you played in that same campaign, because he was man of the cloth.
Many temptations on the road, but a man of the cloth must remain pure to himself and to his faith.
And with this character that you've created for campaign two, um, of Niall's sagas, his 2 to 3 year long sagas,
Hmm.
have you left yourself room for romance, being a 400-year-old turtle?
You never know. I could be someone's. There's no Augie could be someone's wet dream. You never know.
Yeah.
Like it and he is very much a character that like is embracing I think the youth that maybe he felt like he missed out on
Okay.
without
Yeah.
divulging too much about him.
Right. Of course.
Uh he's a very old turtle
Mm.
who is just like breaking his way into advanced magics and the construction and components of what it takes to cast spells. So his whimsy is there. He's very much in tune with that childish, inquisitive mind, um, and I feel like that could be to his own detriment, and it could lead to a love interest. If Niles wants to float that boat down my way, maybe I'll jump on it. Maybe Maybe I'll let it pass. But I think it's interesting because yeah, in our first and completed saga, our long-running D&D campaign that we've talked about previously,
Mhm.
romance wasn't really introduced until the very end of the story. Like it wasn't an ongoing theme. There weren't scorned lovers coming back to like get their revenge. Like
Yeah.
it really was like duty to our people, virtue. Very much a battle of faith
Mhm.
and who was worth believing in when it was all like all the chips were down and all bets are in. Like who do you side with? Um, and there was a lot of just other elements of like compelling storytelling, but we really didn't cover romance at all. I mean, again, not towards the end, but like it wasn't.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like for Ogden, my character now, it would be difficult to for him. Um, but maybe that's just another side, another facet of his character that you get to discover. And the character that you start with is, of course, never the character that you become, and through all the challenges
Well,
and
and
everything
it's
else.
interesting too because again, the ratio of like player characters that we have, it almost has to be an NPC.
Yep.
And you talked about how like in Adventure Quest, which was our long running campaign, we didn't really get into romance till the end. Um, that was something that kind of blindsided me as well. Even being a character who got into like romance. Um, my character, I played a Dragonborn Paladin, who was a very atypical Paladin. Like let's be real. um, but Niles the DM John Snowed me and just was like, oh hey, by the way, you're heir to the throne of this whole place.
Yeah.
But there was already another ruling family.
All the spotlights converged on Marxist for
Yeah.
like a good 3 or 4 months that we were playing.
Well, yeah, and then like I didn't find that out until Rithian was the one that told me about it.
Yeah.
So I didn't find out until late in the game.
Oh, yeah. Because I'm going off of what I know now, but like I was thinking of your like where you went back to your hometown
Mm-hmm.
and there was
Yeah.
like your presence and your agency were very much needed.
Mm-hmm.
But then yeah, even later on, you were just like, oh, and also you're like going to be the supreme king of this
Like, oh,
world.
hey, you're
Oh,
heir to the throne, right? Um,
oh,
and it was
what?
really interesting because he threw another twist at us, right? Where the evil queen of this new family that were coming in and had taken over um, wasn't really evil, and none of it was her doing, and et cetera, et cetera. So immediately my thoughts went to this is how you heal a nation. You take the rightful owners and the usurpers and you pair them together, right? Very arranged marriage type, you know, and that was my immediate thought was like, okay, cool, let's do that. um, but sure enough, it ended up kind of leading down even a more romantic avenue, which surprised me even.
I agree, and it just it wasn't what I was expecting, but it was very fitting, and it made sense that like this would be the union that now uh, it brings the world back together. It
Hmm.
shows that we can overcome our differences, and it just symbolically, metaphorically, metaphysically, it hit on so many different levels that you know to tie it all together, it was just such a beautiful part of romance being a thing that can heal a deep wound and can bring about the best in a character that they didn't even know they had. Like it
Yeah.
was, I think, to you and to your point, like where it was thrust upon you, and not knowing if you were ready for all of this responsibility. Your responsibility was to Tyr and to Rosena's Orchard, and like
Hmm.
you were always going to be that callback for them, but to go beyond and ascend and accept a birthright and a kingdom and a legacy and the end of a war and planes colliding, like it
And
was just fuck.
guys, this was my first D&D campaign.
This is the
This
I'm
was
talking
number
like the base level D&D, and then
talk
you just go
about
up from
cutting
there.
your teeth, right? Um, so yeah, it was again thrust upon me, not something that I ever considered. Um, Now we've talked a little bit about you know a little bit about Ogden, your newest character, and we well, I mean, was there a cause for that for Emerald? Was there ever a time that you thought, oh, well, maybe,
You're still talking about whether like finding love.
yeah, like romance, like was there maybe an NPC that stuck out to you that you thought, like, you know what, maybe that could work?
I mean, the few times that I think I think Niles did provide opportunities for Immoral to like
Hmm.
get to know somebody or you know uh, fulfill a carnal need, a primal need. I loved that his entire thing was just about healing people and understanding what dying kect was,
Hmm.
because that to me when I first started, like I was making a cleric for the first cleric I ever played, all the way to level 20. It's like an accolade.
Yeah,
I'm proud of that. um,
clerics
but
are
I
awesome.
I was trying to find someone that embodied life. And
Hmm.
there's a lot of different loose interpretations and more direct causes for like service for like a paladin or a cleric. But there was one name that I found with very little information, and it was Dying Cat. I didn't know really anything about it. I just took the one little snippet that I found and kind of attributed it to the more like ancient, like Gaelic sort of like Irish origin, like
Hmm.
a lot of the deep greens and just like in terms of like nature, and like I wanted that to be something that was discovered for him. And through all of that, I loved the like just the joke that we all had, like, oh, man of the cloth, you can't. I will not fall to sin or temptation. I am in service, and he was
Yeah.
very devout in that way. But it wasn't something that I felt like he missed out on in
Hmm.
any regard, and I didn't think that was something that I missed out on. Like, oh, I wish my character had a love interest or someone that he got married to, and like Emerald outwardly, could seem like the family man, but he's definitely more of a devotee. Um, he has one singular goal, and I think that's just giving himself and everything that he has
Well,
to that.
I think that's why it was so fitting that Marxus's youngest son went to almost like be his ward, and so he didn't, Emerald never had children of his own, but he still was able to pass that on to somebody.
He was the coolest uncle, let me tell you.
Yes, exactly, exactly.
Yeah, always like the like road trips or like like supply trips. He's just like hanging out and just watching him just like absolutely destroy or like a rove of bandits
Yeah,
that just like run up on him like single-handedly. Oh yeah, like level
yeah.
20 life cleric. You guys are fine. You guys,
Go do whatever it is you need to do, because this.
we could all get hit by 3 meteors right now and we'd still be okay. I'd still be able to heal everybody.
Yeah, life cleric is ridiculous, guys. If you're watching this and you're wondering should I play a cleric, the answer is yes.
Shogun approved. Absolutely.
And even having Niles play in our campaign as Roxy Emberforge, the
Forge
Forge
cleric.
cleric. She's so strong. She's so powerful.
Amazing, amazingly cool character idea, concept, execution,
Yeah.
and I would argue that from Roxy's introduction and just kind of seeing how her abilities are implemented and used in gameplay, I would argue that that probably sparked a lot of inspiration for the other characters because it's very like we were told that Gilderon obviously like we'd be joining different guilds,
Hmm.
but everybody's got like their craft and everybody's got their thing, and
Yeah.
I think that was like oh like well Roxy does all the stuff with the weapons and the tools, so I want to make these things, and it everybody just knocked it out. Every single character is a home run to me. And I'm
Yeah.
trying not
Oh,
try not to be biased,
I mean,
obviously.
yeah, it's been super fun, and
Yeah.
his crafting is something to be really looked at, and I imagine he could publish that at the very least, like
Yep.
his crafting rules. Um, so yeah, so currently I'm taking a break from my campaign. It's set in the Forgotten Realms, which if you're watching this, you may be familiar with. It's basically the one of the actual modules in D&D, one of the actual like settings, I guess you'd say. But as we take that break, we're looking at we're playing Romance Dawn, and we are uh, coming up to the end of that. I think maybe I don't know, but for your campaign, you came to us with an idea, and you said, "Hey, make a pirate." And
Yeah.
I really latched on to that idea, and I wanted to do the complete opposite, where I went from lawful good to a lawful evil character.
You did. You did
S-
it very well, and
Well,
I understood what you were saying before, where it's like, it's exhausting to like play that super, always good, always virtue type of character, and you just
mhm.
tip the scale. You did it so well, and it's such an enjoyable contrast between characters.
Well, and I think it's also a very delicate, and I don't want to give myself too much credit, but it's kind of hard playing an evil character and still being like a good player.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know. Is that something you've ever encountered? Like somebody that because you read about tabletop horror stories all the time of
Yeah,
like yeah a character being like, oh, I'm evil, so I'm gonna stab everybody I see.
I think it really it doesn't it's not been like a theme in any of the games I've played before or
Mm.
like a horror story to type out for a Reddit board or anything like that. No, I think it's definitely difficult to go against the flow and like what everybody's again like you should have if you're trying to play for the first time, obviously it's pretty like you're figuring things out. People like in our group who've been playing for years, we understand each other, we trust each other, and there's a level to it that I feel like I don't think I would say I've ever felt that I've been like someone who had to go against the flow. I
Mm-hmm.
think very much my characters are supportive and try to listen and play off of what other characters' information that they give. Um, that's why I had so much fun doing Romance Dawn and doing that last encounter for Roscoe,
Mm-hmm.
because he gave me so much to go off of that like I could have taken any direction, but I felt like what was in line with the story and what was happening in the world. Um, not everybody, and spoilers for whenever I end up publishing Romance Dawn. No, not everybody makes it to the end. Um, was really what I was going for, and
Mm-hmm.
obviously death and undeath is a big theme um, in the story. But I feel like no, I personally I don't think I've gone against it. I like to lean in and I try to build off of other characters and their experiences. But doesn't mean it's not fun. Doesn't mean it's not to play the asshole and
Yeah.
like everybody's like all for it, but then like like the somebody else with a different perspective, Alabaster could point something out that everybody else missed because he's seeing it from a personally like how is this going to affect me?
Well,
not
and
not just the party, but
not just the
me
party, but
specifically.
me specifically. And I think if you're going to do an evil character and still have your friends, I think, and what I found is the best way to do it is to um, view, like, have your character view the other characters as assets. And if you don't want your assets to die or get lost or not work for you anymore, so it's best to keep them happy
Yeah, and
because
alive.
yes, and alive because and especially with Alabaster, my bard lock is that they work for me is his mindset.
Yeah,
Um, they, I'm sure, see it a completely different way.
they're contractually obligated, so they can look at it any way they want.
It's
It's all
true.
on paper.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's so funny too because I had an idea for a character like Alabaster, and we played one of the first times we ever played Roll20 was with some friends of ours who we played our first ever Niles and I's like first long running campaign.
Okay.
Shorter than ours though. It was only like maybe 8 or 9 months that we played the rock opera.
Right.
We tried joining again online because we all kind of moved away, and a bunch of people who want to play D&D. How do we do it? I tried doing this warlock that was very much about legislation and contracting and finding the right people to talk to get deeds and favors done, and sort of
Hmm.
you know what you do in Skyrim, like when you work for the Thieves Guild and you have to go in and like cook books on
Yes.
like ledgers and stuff.
Yeah.
He was that kind of guy.
Okay.
He
Interesting.
understood the system so well that he would fuck with the papers, like the authoritative documents that made people go away.
The
He
fixer.
would just
Yeah. So he was
yeah
he was like a fixer type character. I like
yeah
that.
yeah like a fixer fence kind of dude. Like he knew how to get shit. Um,
That's that's really cool.
and
That's
I
really
really wanted
creative.
to play it through and play that sort of like personal, like centralized character,
Hmm.
where it's like, what am I going to get out of this? And seeing you play Alabaster and the way that the debonair, the voice, like just the little snippets and the one-liners, like has been such a treasure in the pirate campaign. And yeah, like I wanted you all to make characters that were established and have already potentially made a life for themselves,
Yeah.
which was cool.
Well, and especially it only running for 6 sessions. Like
Yep,
you told us.
tight, tight 6 sessions, six
Well, it
weeks.
was it was very much a like, okay, if I lose this character, it's fine,
Right.
right? I'm not putting 2 years into a single like guy, right?
Yeah.
I'll roll up another guy, and as you saw last week, it's so easy to do. Is just roll up a new character, make a story for it, and play.
Yeah, and I wasn't anticipating it to be so involved, but 6 more sessions, we'll get there. It's really really only 6 more sessions that I have planned. There's nothing else, and we'll eventually finish Romance Dawn, maybe.
Well, I mean, you know how we are, and we really like we love the combat, but we also savor those RP moments.
Yes.
I will always remember ejecting the group out of the mansion.
Out of the Alcazar,
That
yeah.
was my best moment.
Because it was very much like wait, can I do this? And you asked me like, do if I like I can choose who goes in and out of here, right? Like at any moment. And I was like, yeah, it's your place. Like it's your
That's
magic.
that's all I needed. That's all I needed was
And the
to.
whole room shifts and you just
Yeah.
three people fly out.
And then Paulo's one liner like at the end was just because I wasn't gonna punish him. His character was well behaved. He sat at the dinner table and ate and was cordial and nice, but the other three were just reckless.
Immediately went into a food fight and like about to trash your dining room.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, y'all can't behave yourselves. Me and Glock is gonna have a good time.
You're out of here. Yeah.
And again, like he's not just chaotic evil. Like he specifically, had his terms, and all three of them simultaneously broke the terms that for Glaucus. So it's like it's thought out. It's not just wildly, fuck you. I'm Mr. Kitty Cat. It's
I
it's it's calculated. It's intentional.
I feel a chaotic evil would be the hardest to pull off.
Yeah, especially in a party setting, like with
Hmm.
multiple people. Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine you would never get anything done because you'd just be doing evil shit and dealing with the ramifications of that. Unless you and the DM sat down and like, I want to be the catalyst for the adventure.
Yes.
That's an avenue.
That's a really interesting idea and like way to approach that. And I
Yeah.
think that would be like, it's chaotic to a point, but when it becomes like the driving factor of the narrative, well
Hmm.
then it's like, okay, well now we need this guy. Like
Yeah.
I think that'd be fun fun little one-off, successions.
Maybe if you had yeah, little succession. Well, maybe if you had like what if you had your players say like, okay, create a family.
Hmm.
All of you, it doesn't have to be the same race. Of course, that would be great. But create a family, and one of you is a fuck up, and one of you fucks up so bad that it creates this chain of events that you all have to go dig them out of it.
Yeah.
That'd be a cool storyline.
That would be interesting. Or yeah, like it's like a Charlie scenario where like you find this automaton and you wake it up and it like goes fucking crazy haywire and like starts lighting stuff on fire in town, and like now you guys have to like not only figure out well what the heck it is, but you're responsible for it, for
Hmm.
activating it, and then leads you to its creator or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. There's
Um,
uh there's plenty we can do.
but we already have an encounter built,
Yes, we
ready to
do.
go, and it's from the brainchild from last time. If anybody was there for the first D&D with DnG, and
Yes, it
I have it.
is.
I have everything ready to go on my end. If
Yeah,
if you're ready to go.
I'll need a little setup time.
So
Uh,
this was the character that we were talking about, where we just randomly rolled in D&D Beyond. Um, I sent you the link for the sheet as well. So if you want to share that with anyone, or so people can see,
Excellent.
the people at home. But it was originally a paladin, druid, and a wizard. And we scrapped the wizard and kind of fine-tuned some of the mechanics of this character. And I basically translated it all into Roll20, the client or the page that we all play D&D on at home together twice a
Hmm.
week.
Yep.
Um, and we thought it'd be fun to show you guys how we do things, how we roll.
Absolutely. Let me just. I have to set up another screen cap.
Should we play our sponsors now? Is that the right
Yeah,
time?
absolutely. Um,
Thompson's teeth, the only teeth strong enough to chew other teeth.
All right, let me just make sure that is right. Bip. All right.
Ooh, yeah, looking
Cool, cool,
good.
cool. Yeah, let me just get this a little smaller, and there we go. All right, cool, cool, cool.
Nice.
So, All right. Well, yeah, Shoggy, you put this together. So why don't you start us off? What are we looking at here? What are we doing?
In the far-off wastes to the north, Valstina treads, alone, trying to survive, abandoned by her crew, a setup, sending her out to a mercenary job. Sounded like just any other odd job she was used to running. This one, this one was different. When she arrived, she noticed her ship was empty. Crew had all suddenly gone overboard and made their escape as it exploded and sent her flying, cascading out into the icy banks beneath her. She was out cold, colder than the waters that washed upon the shores of this unknown and trepid lands. She awoke, ready for revenge.
Haha. So, essentially, what we're gonna be doing here, guys, is um, we're running this short adventure with the character we made last time. And this is what we use our well, I'm sorry, our roll 20. So,
Yeah,
so she's awakened. Um, is
you
there
are.
is there
Yeah,
anything? Is there any signs of life around?
yeah. If you have your character sheet,
I do.
you can do a perception check as you're coming up over this bridge.
I will. Hold on. Let me just. There we go. Perfect. Perception. Let's see. With her, it's a 21.
21. You're looking out this frozen, uh, empty river. Not even a lot of water left. It seemed to be a long dried out, and there's just these frozen sheets of slate and clay underneath. Fresh blanket of snow all around you, and some. Uh, I know it looks like a lot of footprints and everything, but we're we're working with what we got. All forward over this bridge is untapped snow, and on the other side as well, across to the other bank, there seems to be some kind of large mound. If you zoom, you pull up a little bit, right about here,
Okay.
you can see, um, or I don't know if you can see it. There it is. Yeah, seems to be some sort of larger mound of snow, um, and you're scanning about, and you are going from left to right, right to left, and as you come back, that same mound is gone.
Oh,
Something moved it. You're not sure, but that's the first thing you notice.
interesting. Okay, so let's see. Myself being so she was Valstina was of course a sailor, um, but now she's kind of been living in the wooded area for quite some time.
Yeah,
Um,
this has been probably a few weeks after your sabotage.
okay,
So your mission was a false front, and your crew abandoned you, and you've been out in the icy wastelands for a couple weeks now, just trying to find life, civilization, anybody, and it's been to no avail.
okay. I'd like to approach,
Okay.
like slowly cross the bridge, kind of keeping her eye out for anything that might be suspicious.
Yeah, go ahead and make another perception check as you get about halfway across the
Okay.
bridge.
Perception.
And our reference image I just pulled. Oh
There
yeah,
we go. And that 20.
Valstina is a Goliath sailor, a paladin, and an oath to the open sea, as well as a druid, which I don't believe you've picked your circle yet, have you? Or you did the Arctic land?
So she is Druid level 2, so she'll get her circle in a level.
Right. But just sort of ragged armor, damage from the impact of the exploding ship, and just now kind of bits and pieces from various fights. You're a bad bitch, and they should have used more kegs if they wanted to take you out. But you used a natural 20, Roll a natural 20 on your perception. You're going about halfway over the bridge. You take maybe 2 or 3 more steps, and then you see it again. Over to the right, this large mound of snow slowly begins to track and moves 10, 20, 30 spaces or so to the left, and is about centered now with you and the bridge.
Okay, interesting. What she would like to do is kind of kneel down and pick up any small twigs or anything like that. Hold it in her hand, and she would like to produce flame, and just kind of toss it out in that direction. See if there's any reaction to that.
Okay. So you just throw it out in front of you?
Yeah, kind of like I imagine when as she throws it, it kind of picks up with the wind and creates almost like little embers, just in front of her.
Okay. You cast the produce flame as sparks fly out from your hand, and in the cold wind, it whips up this sort of ice breeze, quickly melts. There's a small splash of water as fire takes its place, and you begin to hold it there just for a moment in front of you. And slowly again, this mound of snow pulls up 5, 10, 15 feet closer to the bridge.
Okay, yes, she's going to pull out her great sword, two-handed, and prepare for whatever this creature may be.
Okay. Do you move forward?
Yeah, I'll say she will. Very. She'll take step, kind of foot over foot, trying to walk as lightly as a 7 foot Amazonian gal can.
Okay. You get about 10, 15 feet further down to the end of this the side of the bridge, and after you take your probably next 1, 2, 3 steps, bursting out from the snow, a large, pale and cobalt blue creature with red spines all down its the back of its long serpentine body, and you see underneath it, propelling it up, are dozens of these very skinny, stocky legs with a wide mouth. This sort of skittering, jittering sound echoes out from the area. A Remoraz has revealed itself to you.
Oh boy. Okay, so she's seen these before.
Yes, these are creatures native to this area, and they have a notorious quality about them, and that is that ice and fire are no match for the hide of the Remoraz, is what you know.
Well,
And they
not
seem to be able to withstand the harsh environment that they reside in because of their internal flame, this body heat that manifests inside of them as
so.
it kind of coils up in front of you and sort of
Vals
needs you to roll
Valstina.
initiative.
Oh, all right. As I start with initiative, she's going to kind of take a look down at her like mismatch armor and see some of the chitin that was made from this very creature, and give a wry smile.
Oh yeah, she had the armor. That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
she's
you are
gonna
very familiar.
she's gonna make some more armor as she charges into battle.
All right. So the Remoraz picks up speed and begins skittering towards you. Will make a bite attack at you.
All right. So the bite is a 9 against my armor class of 16. That's a miss.
So slides forward, and you're able to jump up and dodge out of its way as it recoils. It closes the distance with you, and as part of its heated body. Oh, never mind. You just know it's the closer it is, it's very warm near this creature.
So it's already starting to like melt the snow around me.
Yeah, now that it's
Ooh.
sort of up and moving, it was able to suppress the heat in its body to kind of move underneath the snow. But now that it's in attack mode, you can see these orange spikes flaring up are from heat that is generating inside of it, and it's getting larger and larger. And the snow in the air coming around it is evaporating, and the snow, the fresh blanket of snow around you, is quickly melting as well.
Okay. All right. So I'm up.
You are up.
All right. She's gonna take her great sword and uh, look for any chink in its chitinous armor and swing, trying to hopefully saw off some of this stuff.
Pull away. The great sword. Ooh,
So
a 10
10's not gonna do it.
does not hit.
How about a
The nine,
19?
the 19 will.
All right, so she's going to the first time hit up against maybe some armor that just doesn't give, and the second time see a more vulnerable spot and strike against that.
Okay.
10 points of bludgeoning damage.
And you do, and you see this bright orange liquid start pouring out from some of the legs that you chop off, holding up the bottom side of its body.
All right. Let's see. There's not really anything. There's no environmental hazards on either side of the bridge, right?
No, it's pretty flat down at the bottom. Like I said, this was a long, dried out river
Okay.
that's just kind of frozen over. The bottom is just thin sheets of like the dirt at the bottom of a river,
Okay.
like, but it's probably a good 10, 15 foot drop down.
Okay. Yeah, then she'll end her turn there. Still
Remember,
feeling
as
still feeling pretty good.
uh, recoils back from your strike and kind of buries its severed legs into the snow to kind of block or pack the wound as it reaches out again towards you to bite.
Ooh, that's a miss.
Yeah, critical fail. You easily dodge out of the way again, and anticipating this large creature's movement, not intimidated at all by its size. Um, I also meant to do this before, but when you hit with the blade, some of the orange guts kind of fly out and hit your hands and forearms.
Oof.
And with its heated body, its blood is boiling. You would take 7 fire damage for
Oof.
striking in as well.
Okay. Yeah, that smarts, doesn't it?
Yeah, but it is your go.
All right. Burns the flesh a little bit as that only drives her more.
Yes.
Uh,
Oh,
10 a
10
10
again?
doesn't hit, and perhaps 26.
For sure. Yeah, roll for damage.
Still having a hard time finding the weak points in its armor. She's
But
gonna
you
hit
are
the
chipping
second
away.
time.
Okay.
Yeah, for
Staying
7
put.
points damage. So I think this time she's gonna make the Rimras give chase. You see that the snow that's now starting to very quickly evaporate and turn into a steam is going to kind of wrap itself around her as she turns into very briefly steam herself and
Ooh.
cast Misty Step.
Yeah, your form, sort of the molecules in your body temporarily separate, and you just kind of have this outline of your or your silhouette as you move away. You
So she
turn to
teleports
mist.
30 feet
Yeah.
behind her. So that would be 1, 2, 5, oops, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Um, and when she reaches the 30 feet, makes herself physical again, and then will move another 30 feet, which is all of her movement.
So
across
you
the bridge.
sort of evaporate back, watching the more of the Remoraz blood spill before you and begins to sink into the earth. It's almost like almost a grade down from just molten lava as it hits. It cools very quickly, but you move back from the Remoraz, not engaging an opportunity of attack, which is smart. As
Yes.
It will move up now. 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And then we'll dash towards you as well. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
There we go. All right, we
turn.
did a little music change. All right, so it had to use its action to dash. That means I'm going to be able to attack. I get a free turn of attack, so certainly will with her great sword.
Ooh.
Oh no! How does that happen?
You prepare yourself. You're ready to strike, and you're waiting for the moment for the Remoraz to get close. As it charges forward, you take 2 quick swings, as
And she
quickly backpedals. Its back legs lurch and pull itself away.
She realizes that when she swings, the sword hasn't dropped from the spell yet, and it's still missed.
Yeah, it's like slowly like loading, like a loading bar
Yeah.
for the hilt. It's like, oh, come on!
No!
The sword quickly rematerializes back in front of you.
Okay, well that's her turn. Well, no, so that was. Well, I'm not used to playing one-on-one. This is okay. All right, yeah, that'll be her turn.
Okay, the Remoraz goes up next, and this time we'll go out to bite you for 13.
The 13 misses. As
As
now
the sword
go ahead.
completes. Yeah.
I was thinking that we were on the same page there.
Yeah. And it re-solidifies as the bite comes down, and you throw the flat end of the blade up and catch it by its mouth as some of its boiling drool is kind of falling around you, and you push it away.
So, seeing as is that its turn?
Yes.
All right. Seeing as this thing is not going to give any quarter, she is going to very quickly reach down and touch the snow, and as she does, it melts very quickly and takes on a more salt-like property, and slowly but surely becomes like a seawater substance, and it evaporates and becomes a thick fog as a marine layer appears.
Then 20 feet, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, hang on. I want to do this right. So I need to make sure we're on Manhattan, which we are. And then just like a steam around you.
Yeah, I would imagine it's like a fog.
Okay, yeah. Oh, it's kind of hard to see. All right, let's do a darker color. Yeah,
Also, I switched my radio station to metal for this fight because I mean.
All right, so yeah, you're now obscured within this fog you've created.
Okay, yes. So that's her action. She's not gonna use a bonus action. She'll just prepare herself for the next fight.
So just obscured. There's no other effect like disadvantage on attacks while you're inside, or.
Well, let's take a look at the rules real quick because I want to say obscured does something.
Let's see, quick consultation.
Yep. This is where, if we were in person, we'd get out the player's handbook. It's got to do something, right?
Let's see, environment. Creatures have disadvantage on wisdom checks that rely on sight.
Okay.
A heavily obscured area such as darkness, opaque fog, or dense foliage blocks vision entirely. So they're effectively suffer from blindness in that area. But hard to see where you are. I will say the Remoraz will try to make a wisdom check before it strikes. Yeah, and go ahead and make a stealth check.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, she's real good at this. Now
With
she
it,
is
I will say with advantage.
now she is wearing heavy armor, so it would probably be a straight roll.
Then a straight roll it is.
Okay.
Honest man.
19.
Yeah.
Ha
It hesitates on its turn. So you casting the marine layer, if you're staying where you are,
Yeah,
um,
because it follows me.
right. Um, but I would say, yeah, if you're gonna complete your move or your turn rather.
Yeah, that'll. Oh, yeah, so yeah, that's my turn.
Okay. Then yeah, you stick put. The lightly obscured fog begins to kind of coalesce around the dimension or the length of this bridge, and the Remorhaz kind of recoils and moves its head about, trying to figure out exactly where you are. It's having a hard time distinguishing now you from the remainder of the snow, but the longer it waits, the snow kind of is melting in front of you. So you're just patiently waiting as it will try to strike you with disadvantage, I would say. It's not sure where you are.
Wow.
Lurches out to the far right, away from where you're currently standing. It's your go.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna as it like lurches out, I'm gonna come down on the neck of this thing.
Do it.
So 17.
Hits.
All right,
Roll for damage.
as that connects, I'm gonna roll for damage, and as it connects, I'm going to put my faith of the open sea into it and burn a divine smite.
Ooh,
Yes.
yeah. You come down with the blade, and as it strikes, there is a splash of ocean water that comes out, and it actually negates some of the boiling blood from your strike. So you do not take any heated body damage as
Nice.
your smite. I imagine it manifests as crashing waves,
Yes, that's so cool.
and the damage is true, is radiant. Very nice. Holy moly.
And then I'll go down with another strike. Now,
Yeah.
if I'm reading this again, if I'm reading this correctly, she has 7 first level spell slots
I believe between Paladin and
and
Druid,
Druid.
yes.
Nice. Well, not what a combo. All right, great sword again. Does a 15 hit?
15 just hits.
All right, she's gonna pull a smite on this one as well.
Let's
Come down with the
go.
crashing waves. All right, about half. We'll take it.
Yeah. So that was the 2d8. Yeah. Another 7 points of radiant damage, and again, the crashing waves upon your strikes are matching the intense heat. It's almost a coolant strike that you're using to combat the heated innards of this Remorhaz.
That's awesome.
And you're all the while your marine layer sort of suspended in the midst of this combat. Anything else for your turn?
No, I think that's good.
Now, seeing clearly where you are, the Remorhaz will come down again and try and bite at your form. Oh, for a 9.
9 does not hit.
Right, and then it is back to you.
That chain armor is good stuff. All right,
Yes,
another great sword attack.
23 easily.
All right, yeah, she's gonna keep burning these smites to try to get rid of this thing.
Okay.
So for 18 points of damage.
Yeah, you are swiftly making way through the rest of the legs. The body is now kind of struggling to keep itself upright, but it's still, the head is just whipping around at you as every 2 strikes that you go out, a bite flies and you're able to dodge out of the way. It will try again to bite you. Natural 20.
All right.
As it lands, the 6 sort of mandibles smash around your torso, and it sort of upchucks this like small firebolt against your abdomen and your rib cage as you just feel this impact.
I'd like to use Stone's Endurance.
Okay, yeah, roll for the
So
decreased damage.
It's a D12 plus 3.
Okay.
So 11, 12, 13, 14 damage decreased.
Okay. So that was 27 plus
That's a
14
big hit.
plus 8, and then minus 11 plus, or no, plus 3, so 14.
Yeah.
So you take a total of 37 points of damage
Oh boy,
from the natural 20.
that hurts.
And it does not grapple you with its bite. It just gets you one good time before you're able to break yourself free from its jaws.
Okay.
It's your turn.
Let's see. She's already used. How many do I only get? How many channel divinities do I get at this level? Do you know?
For you, you're level 7 Paladin. I would say, I think it's 2 or 3, maybe just 2. You have a divine sense.
Yeah,
Lay on hands.
which is different.
You have your sacred oath. Wait, how do you do the? Yeah, no, that's just for good and evil. Where is your?
It should be on D&D Beyond if you take a look.
Yeah.
Which you sent that to me, right? Let me take a look.
Spellcast. Oh, divine smite. Here we go.
Oh, she has wild shape too, huh? Oh.
You can spend it. You can expend one spell slot to deal extra 2d8 damage for the target, plus 1d8 for each.
She has one channel divinity. So she used that for the marine layer. All right.
Oh, channel divinity.
Yep. All right, good to know. Because I was gonna see about using Fury of the Tides, but can't. Okay, cool. So, being dealt that massive hit, she is going to take some of the seawater that is still like dripping from her great sword, pull it in her hands, and just kind of take it and splash her face with it. And as she does, that's a lay on hands for 35 points.
Yeah. So you, between your endurance as a Goliath and your Paladin's divinity, you heal yourself back again, mitigating most of the damage you just sustained. That's your action.
That's an action. Let's see. Bonus action. Yeah, I don't really have anything. Yeah, she'll prepare for another attack, for another hit like that.
Yeah, the Remoraz struggling to keep its balance. It just sort of flops around for a moment, and then the head flips back over and comes down on top of you to try and bite you.
Woo! Yep, that hits.
You take 22 points of piercing and 7 fire.
All right. Come on, bad bitch. You got this. 22 points of piercing, and you say 7 fire? Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. She's starting to feel it now. She's going to, just keep hitting it with the greatsword.
Okay.
Come on. Where's my nat 20? A 14.
14 is a match. Roll for damage.
Okay. So she's going to strike it for 10 points of damage and then come down again with the greatsword for another 11 points of damage, and you best believe that's another divine smite.
Go for it.
Another 7 points.
Valstina, the abandoned mercenary. How do you want to do this?
Yes. Okay. Yes, she will. As the Remoras opens its maw to roar at her, she's going to take the great sword and shove it in an upwards direction as she kind of takes the hilt and pushes it, angling it, and carve forward towards her. And with some manner of control, bring it towards her to stop right as it gets to her own shoulder and rest upon her shoulder.
Yeah, you can feel the heated blood now coming out from the impact wound as you silenced its roar, and the head just kind of slowly drips down and is resting upon your, by comparison, tiny shoulder.
Yes.
But slain another of these beasts, these foul creatures immune to both fire and ice, but not immune to the wrath of the abandoned.
And she'll spend the rest of her time just picking up new sets of armor, new pieces for
Yeah.
her armor.
Go ahead and just do a survival check for
Okay.
me.
Oh, she's actually pretty good at that.
Hmm.
14.
14. Yeah, you were careful enough to strike against the parts of the body that are not as valuable. The legs, the sort of behind the mandibles and the face, and landed the final blow to, you know, end its life as quickly and clean as possible. You take 7 points of fire damage just from
Yes.
that last strike, by the way.
Uh,
Um, but you are knowledgeable enough about these creatures that you wait a good 10-15 minutes for the body to fully cool down, and then the plates, the chitin, is very malleable. I'd say you can add 7 extra chitin plates
oh,
to your inventory.
heck yeah. So she'll pick those up.
Or
Um,
Remoraz chitin.
okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
she will pick those up. Be thrilled with herself and her discovery. I kind of look behind her very quickly and turn herself wild shape into the form of a white wolf and just trot into the forest.
Since she's gone, just like that, into the wilderness.
Yeah.
So yeah, well done. That was awesome. I have not run a one-on-one kind of scenario myself, so that
it's
was really intense.
it's different, right?
Yeah, that was really cool.
It really does.
I,
Yeah, it's different.
I gotta change this music now. It's too combat's over.
Yeah, me too. I was playing, because I can't do our usual music because we're on Twitch, right?
Yeah,
So I'm relying on radio stations.
yeah, that was awesome. So
Yeah, thank you for running that.
perfect. Of course, thank you for letting me indulge, and that was a really fun back and forth, like
Woo!
kind of, watching her deal with a dangerous foe.
Oh,
We built off of the random character generation. We were saying, it'd be cool to do like a little one-off with her, so we threw her out into the wasteland, and then who knows, maybe Valstina could come back again one day in another D&D with DnG.
absolutely. I say next time we do, let's roll up a new character and I'll make a encounter for you.
Okay, so you'll run it next time.
Yeah, yeah, we can trade
Okay.
off back and forth.
Yeah. Okay,
That'd
I
be
like
really
that.
cool.
So yeah, we'll work on building a new character. We'll bring some new topics, and yeah, I like this. I like this a lot. This is a good format.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. Well, everybody, thank you so much for joining. That was pretty much how we run games during quarantine. And honestly, now we're looking at building a table that can accommodate Roll20 into our home games.
Yeah,
Because it's just such a really interesting and really great tool to use.
you can really, like I said, where before you can approach it a lot of different ways.
Mhm.
It's very much built with versatility, and you're able to do a lot of things. And that was my point about last night too. I wanted to try something different, and it turned out it was a great success. So
Yes.
it's a very good medium for creativity, and just sort of a solution for those who can't play in person. It was very much a godsend for us because we all love D&D so much, and we
Yeah.
still got to play even though we couldn't see each other in person.
Here we are a year later. But yes, well, if unless you've got anything else, I think that's a good place to end it.
No, actually, I want to become famous, so I'm gonna go buy some followers here from B. Halton, and then I'll peace out.
Was that on your side?
No, that's yours.
Oh, I didn't see it. I guess Cookie Crunch must have banned them before I got a chance to see them.
No, it's all good.
Nice.
No, that was amazing. Thank you again for hosting this, and
Yeah, thanks for running.
yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see the next character and what kind of encounter you'll build for me.
Yes. Yeah,
This is
thanks
cool.
thanks everybody that showed up. Thanks for listening to our nerdy ramblings.
Glad you
Um,
made it.
we will of course always go visit the Shogun Gun. He does a lot of really cool games. You gotta watch him play Enter the Gungeon.
Yeah,
He's insane.
I like Shogun likes him some Gungeon.
Yes, absolutely. But thanks a lot, guys. I'll initiate a raid, and you guys take it easy, okay?
Right. Who we raiding?
Well, I don't know. Let's take a look.
Okay. I was actually thinking about playing some Gungeon on the stream again. That's
Well,
funny
hey,
that you mentioned that.
if you want to set something, if you want to go ahead and drop and set something up, I'll raid you.
Hey, well, maybe in a little bit.
Okay.
For now, we can find somebody else.
All right, let's see. Oh, we got Calatees is playing some Legend of Zelda. We got
Gaming Senator's
Gaming
on.
Senator.
He's just
He's
chatting.
a stream favorite. Let's give our love to Gaming Senator.
All right, I'm cool with that.
That's
Put the flex seals in the chat.
right. All right, so yeah, I'll see you guys over at Senator's place. Thanks again for hanging out with us.
Yeah, we'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.